What's up, guys? T-Rock1992 here. For this next video, I'm going to talk about, since I talked last time about Mike Myers and the popularity of Wayne's World, I figure I might as well talk about the other main character in Wayne's World. The guy who played Garth Alger in Wayne's World, Dana Carvey. That is my next About series. Dana Carvey is definitely, movie-wise, he's definitely known for the Wayne's World movies. And then he's known for a few bad ones, too. He's appeared in a couple pretty bad movies, according to critics. But he is definitely known for what I'm going to talk about right now. Or pretty soon. So without further ado, I'm going to get into the film career. I'm going to kind of combine the film and television together a little bit. But without further ado, I'm going to get right into it. His first film appearance was Halloween 2, actually. The first Halloween came out in the late 70s. And then in this one, he plays an assistant. That's his first film. And in this one, yeah, he plays a very small role in it. If you're familiar with the Hollywood movies, Halloween movies. But that's his first movie, 1984. This is Spinal Tap, a small role for him. He does a few movies between 1981 and 1990 that are just, that are movies you might not know about, except for Halloween 2 and This is Spinal Tap. The other movies I've never even heard of. I'm looking at his filmography right now, and I've never heard of these movies. But, in television in general, he started out in 1982 with a TV show called One of the Boys. It was a short sitcom. It only had 13 episodes, but it's notable because Mickey Rooney played in this. Mickey Rooney, who recently passed away back in April of this year, he was in it, and Nathan Lane was in it, famous for The Birdcage, Timon in the Lion King series. But yeah, this is one of his first cracks in television that just wasn't a big success. He tries another crack at TV. It's a TV show called Blue Thunder, which wasn't a success. It only lasted 11 episodes. One of the Boys only lasted 13 episodes. But really, what got him famous, what put him on the map, was his breakout role. This is obvious. Saturday Night Live. He appeared on Saturday Night Live from 1986 to 1993 and appeared in 134 episodes within that time. And it's his breakout. It's what made him a superstar. Saturday Night Live, he is just so funny. He's one of my favorite SNL performers. I love looking at his sketches. Church Lady is probably his most famous. Church Lady, pretty funny. His impressions of Ross Perot and George H.W. Bush, probably his best one. He's just done a lot of memorable SNL characters. I would argue that Dana Carvey is better than Mike Myers. I would argue that. On SNL. I would argue that probably Dana Carvey's in the top 5 of SNL performers of all time. That's what I would say. Very, very funny. He's done a lot of other impressions. I think he was most known on SNL for his impressions. There were so many of them. It was just so great to see. It must have been so great to see back in the late 80s, early 90s for SNL fans to see it. And I've watched most of his old sketches before, and they're just so funny. But what really was his breakthrough in film, I will say this right now though, in film, he really doesn't have a big filmography, if you look at it. People probably would have thought he had more, but he really doesn't have a lot in TV or movies in general. But, he does stand-up comedy too. I'll talk more about that after, but in 1992, Wayne's World. 1992 and 1993, Wayne's World and Wayne's World 2. Obviously, he plays, like I said in the Mike Myers movie video, he plays Garth Alger, who is the sidekick to Wayne Campbell. Wayne Campbell is more of the leader, more of the dude type personality. Garth Alger is not the smartest guy, not the smartest tool in the shed. He does, in one of those movies, I think it was the first one, he does get into a little love affair with Kim Basinger, so, that's pretty good for him. Kim Basinger's pretty hot back in the day. And this is one that he just, let's just say he doesn't really like this whole love thing. But let you see it for yourself. But Wayne's World and Wayne's World 2 definitely put Dana Carvey on the map, movie-wise. After that, after SNL and after Wayne's World, the Wayne's World movies, he didn't really do a whole lot. There's this movie called Clean Slate that he did. 19% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Not very well known. He just tried to, after Wayne's World, he just didn't have that successful of a movie career. It's just simple. He just didn't. He was in a lot of bad movies. The one that in 2000 he has a pretty cameo-based role in Little Nicky. He plays a referee, the Adam Sandler movie Little Nicky. But the one that is probably the most forgettable among critics is the abominable, according to critics, The Master of Disguise. When I was younger, I haven't watched this movie in years. I would love to again. This movie is so... I remember this movie. It was so funny back in the day for me. I would love to watch it again, but I have not seen it on HBO or anything like that. I haven't seen it in a while, but there's this guy who is the master of disguise, the man of many faces, essentially. This is a movie where Dana Carvey basically shows off all his impressions. He's the main star. He has to be the master of disguise, and I mention it also not just because I love the movie. I love the movie. I loved the movie back then, but it was terrible on Rotten Tomatoes. It's considered to be one of the worst films of all time. 1% rating. This was one that really put the nail in the coffin in Dana Carvey's film career. The nail in the coffin, if I ever did say it, there ever was one. This was it. Which is a shame, I think if he was put in the right movie, I think if he had better roles, if he chose the best movies after Wayne's World, I think he would be a big success. But The Master of Disguise and some of his other films he did after Wayne's World, just weren't. They just did not match up whatsoever to the Wayne's World movies. Whatsoever. In 2011, the last film he did was a cameo, was a very bit part in Jack and Jill, another Adam Sandler movie. But that's it for his film career. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much worth mentioning. I mean, after Wayne's World, it just went downhill for Dana Carvey. Which is an absolute shame, because he's a very funny guy. Period. SNL just really made him a star. After that, he just couldn't really capitalize on it like Mike Myers could. Like Eddie Murphy could, like Adam Sandler and Will Ferrell. It really is an absolute shame. In TV terms, in 1996, he actually came out with the Dana Carvey Show, which was, it was a sketch comedy TV show that I did not know about until now, but Dana Carvey was in this show, but it only had 8 episodes. It just was not a big success. Just period. It just was not a big success. Only 8 episodes. He did a couple guest appearances on the Fairly Odd Parents, the Nickelodeon show, Just Shoot Me in 1998. Fairly Odd Parents was 2009. He was a guest host for 3 episodes on Live with Kelly. This was after Kelly Ripa. This was after Regis Philbin retired. I think this was around the time anyway. They were trying to find a new host. They found Michael Strahan. Now, Live with Kelly and Michael. But yeah, that's pretty much it to talk about, really. Who knows? Like I said with Mike Myers, he could get back in the spotlight with Wayne's World 3. That would be a huge boost to his career. For sure. And it would just be a big thing for him. Because we really know Dana Carvey for 2 things: Saturday Night Live and the 2 Wayne's World movies. That's pretty much it. I don't know if a lot of people would actually know this, but he was a stand-up comedian in his time. He, excuse me, I watched a stand-up on him not too long ago, one of his stand-up specials on HBO. It was hilarious. He came out with George H.W. Bush. He did a great impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Some other impressions, and outside of impressions, I went into the Dana Carvey. I got into watching it. I wanted to watch it because I wanted to see his impressions. But I was very pleasantly surprised. He's actually pretty funny just doing comedy without impressions. He's actually very good. And it just proves, he doesn't need the impressions. He doesn't always need the impressions to be funny. And that's a very good thing. That's a very varied kind of thing. Which is, it's very good for Dana Carvey, for sure. So that's pretty much it for my video. This is a pretty short one, as opposed to a lot of my other ones. My last 2 were like 40 minutes long. But this one's pretty short, and that's it for this video. D-Rock 1992 out.